Should we just be like...
You ready? You ready for the intro?
Sippy&yakx!
Sippy&yakx.
That's a bad intro.
That's great. This is the Sippy&yakx show, and we talk about important issues.
That's what we're going to do now. And today, we are going to talk about some stuff, which is...
Important issues.
They are important. Yep. Okay, just a quick intro. You will be glad to hear that our audio quality has drastically improved.
I'm sure you've noticed. Yeah, it's kind of palatable.
This time we tried. We put up one towel.
Yep, there's
we
a
moved
towel.
the mic. We bought a microphone stand. Cost us $30, and it's shit.
And it's blown the budget for this podcast, including the beers. In fact, I can't talk about budgets though because
I have paid for everything, which was $40 on 24 quite good beers. We talked about this last time, the cost of beers. This time it was fine, because I paid $40 for 24 beers. That's a very... And they're like, what are these? Are these Pilsners? Are these IPAs?
Pale ale.
They're pale ales.
Pale ale.
Pale ales.
So Sippy has... I can't really talk about budget, because Sippy has literally financed this entire thing so far. There's a $30 mic stand. We have a crate of 24 beers,
Yes.
and they are pale ales. Pale ales.
Pale ales.
So cheers... Sippy cheers. Yeah.
That's how we do it.
And today we do have important issues.
Social norms, which is a topic that haunts us on a daily basis.
Traditional values.
Traditional values. What you are expected to enjoy.
Or do. Or achieve with your life. All those kind of things. Yeah.
So this is a fairly basic concept, you know. What do people do? They find a suitable partner. Okay. So you find your wife,
and you find a good job, you know,
Yep.
preferably in insurance. There's a good one.
Yep. Because that's stable income. Okay. So you've gone to your university.
Yep.
That's step number one.
The degree. Yep.
You get your business degree. Sorry.
Don't laugh.
All you people with business degrees, you guys fucked up. I'm sorry. You guys have a shit life ahead of you.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you have all these things that we're describing, chances are, A, you're a lot happier than many of us, and B, you fucked up.
That's one of the two. It's one of the two. You're either extremely content with your life, and you're like, fuck, this is just great. Or you're like, this is the worst.
You have soul-crushing regret because you're like, what if I'd just gone with that girl to Barcelona? You know, what if... Angelica and me had become a partnership, and you know now we were a dual owners of some startup that ties ribbons on hamsters for people's birthday. You know, it's that kind of life, really, isn't it? But on that note, and I've just fallen into the trap myself. I literally just have fallen into the trap myself. So social norms, like if you don't do the university, the blah 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 blah. If you don't do the university thing, if you don't do the tried and true nuclear family, 2.5 children, whatever it is, then people have a tendency to say, well, what else the fuck are you going to do? And yeah, you're going to end up tying ribbons on hamsters for people's birthdays. Because the entrepreneurial world is so vast that people get daunted and scared of it. And that's why so many people go back to it. Like, so I can understand that part of it. I still don't think it's right, but I can definitely understand that part
We haven't
of it.
even described what it is yet. So, listen, so you start university, right? You start making ribbons on hamsters. That's
No. Other way around. Because you don't do ribbons on hamsters at university.
That's not what I said. I said...
Yeah, you did. Start university, ribbons on hamsters, 101, ribbon tying 101.
Okay.
Hamsters
So
101.
fuck that. So basically, you go to university, you do something. you find the love of your life. She's a bit of a bitch. You
Yeah.
don't like her.
She's picky. She gets angry at you if you leave a bowl out in the sink.
No, so you made some pasta. You didn't soak the pan. So now there's pasta sauce just baked to this pan. And she's like, you piece of shit. Now I have to scrub this.
I got to side with mystery wife here because that is a bitch of a job.
I agree.
Can we use a different example?
No, but that's your life now. You are a pasta dish man. That's your life. You just scrub pasta dishes and you're like, fuck, I hate my life. So now you're in this great toxic relationship. You've got 2 children, so you can't leave. But you've bought a house, so sounds great, right? That's the traditional life. That is what we are told that we want. Now, that might be from a cynic's perspective.
Yeah, I agree. It could be because I've never had that.
No.
Not like I've ever done it, so it's hard to tell from the outside, but to me, that's what I was told.
In every family sitcom, there's 2 parents, 2 kids and a baby, and maybe a dog, and they're living in a house in the suburbs, and it's that's what people do. Basically, this topic is about that.
And just to preface it, we don't have anything in particular against these people. We're not saying their choices are shit in general, in the same way that someone who chooses to, I don't know, throw fucking gas bombs into asthmatic conferences is a shit person. That's not what we're saying.
It's an extremely specific example.
It's very funny. When you do it, they can't breathe. No, fuck that. The point here more is to talk about. Okay, so from our perspective, being, I'm going to call us edgies because that's what we are. So
we've created a new category.
Yeah, we got these things.
We haven't brought in the main concept is normies, which is the people who like the stuff that we've just described.
Yeah,
you're not wrong out there, normies.
No, fuck no.
But the opposite category
is edgies.
Edgies,
yeah,
which is the artists, the memesters, the worst people on
the
this
fucking
earth.
Hamster tires,
the hamster tires,
the fuckers that can't do the nuclear family thing. They just it taxes them to the point where they dislike it, and neither side is wrong. I think what we're trying to highlight here is neither side is technically wrong, but what we're talking about is the differences between them and what we have noticed as more edgies than normies. Although both of us were raised in more normie conditions.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true. I personally come from a family that loves sport, which is something I just don't relate to. I don't know how to talk about these things. Someone's like, "Oh, you watch the game," and I'm like, "What game? I don't know what we're talking about. Am I meant to automatically know what we're talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, it was a fucking the All Blacks," which is the New Zealand rugby team. And I'm like, I've never watched that. And the frowns that I see, the people are like, "You fucking scumbag. How dare you not support our country in rugby?" I'm like, I didn't support any country in rugby.
Yeah,
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
And this is why, as edgies, maybe we do have a kind of cynical view of this. Is because we've inherently been judged for something we're just not honestly that interested in. If we were to walk into a pub and every single person there, I don't know, played guitar, and we talked to one dude there and it was like, "So what tuning do you play in?" And they're like, "What do you mean, what tuning?" And they were like, "Oh, you fucking don't know what tuning to play your guitar and get out of here, you fucking useless fucker." It's that. It's that weird thing, except the difference is
that never happens.
Well, no, but
we've never been in that conversation. I would love to be in that conversation.
There's no real reversal, and I think maybe that's part of being and quote unquote edgy is because you are sort of on the edge of this society, but at the same time highlighting that difference is like saying, this is what it feels like a lot of the time, and why I guess we see this difference so clearly as well. Yeah. So you were saying, sorry, you go on. You were talking about the games and the things that you were talked about too.
I was talking about being raised in a sport environment. It's weird, dude, because obviously as a child I was encouraged to engage in sport. It was fun. I won't lie. I enjoyed it a lot, but I never felt like that extreme feeling that I assume other people feel. I like got to a certain age, it's like, I just want to like play video games or do music or, I really like this art stuff. And of course, in society, people go, "Nah, you fucking weird cunt." Like, that's all you get is just like, you're a piece of shit. It was fair enough. But what we're trying to say is it's not fair enough. And it's fucking weird.
It's rough because you get this kind of like venom, like, and it's so subtle in a lot of ways. I think it's very subtle. It's not as if, so in school, if you played, I don't know, fucking Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that, and you had that interest and you do that thing, people would generally make fun of you. It's kind of a different environment though, because school and high school are dictated almost by the edges and the norms to a intense degree. It's like a fucking musical. They're like, oh, we're the Capulets in the... Okay, that's not a musical. I don't... Shakespeare, yeah. But you get what I mean. Like, there's those two dramatized sides, and you have the cool kids, and you have the geeks, and you have those all the very ostracized sort of groups. But then one of the shocking things for all of these groups to find out is when you go into the real world, is that you're all put in there together, so there's kind of just this mixing pot, and B, it's also separate ingredients in the mixing pot. So you have to simultaneously mix and be different, and this confuses a lot of people.
Well, did you ever play that game called Bully or Canis, Canem, Edit?
No, what is that?
So you're a bully of a high school.
Bully or what? Canis, Canem, Edit? What did you say?
Canis, Canem, Edit. I don't know where that
sounds like Latin.
Maybe it is.
Canis, Canem, Edit.
Yeah. Okay, but most well known as the game Bully. You're a bully of a high school.
Canis. I can't get past this. What the fuck does that even mean?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, fine, bully. Let's call it bully.
Yeah, it's called bully. That's what everyone calls it.
My brain
That's what everyone calls it. I don't know why it's called that. It doesn't fucking... I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Fuck off. So, you are the bully of a high school, right? But you're new to this high school. And there's 4, gangs. It was made by the same people who made Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, so this is a computer game?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about hide and seek, and I was like, Canis, Canem, Edit, bully? Like, what? No?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway.
Great. Okay. So clarify. Sorry.
So there's 4 gang-like groups of people in this game, which is you've got the geeks. They wear green, right? Because geeks wear green. Everybody knows that. There's the preps. I don't know what color they wear.
I want to say blue.
I think they wear blue. They all wear vests. They're real pieces of shit. I always hated them in the game. Then you've got jocks, and then you've got greasers.
That sounds like my group.
That was always the group I like.
Yeah.
You don't join any group, but you can choose to dress like them. I always chose the greasers.
Yeah.
But it's that's how high school and stuff works. It's there's always very segregated groups of people. What do you like? I like this. All right, well, you are one of those. That's the easiest way we can deal with this. It's you are part of this group. So and that totally applies to real high school, because in high school I was one of those fucking long-haired dudes in a leather jacket, and I'm I only listen to Lamb of God. And
what a great band.
Deeply ashamed. I will listen to Lamb of God nostalgically, but I've moved on from that period of my life, definitely. What were you in high school? Were you a long-haired leather jacket Lamb of God?
What was I in high school? I was a weird one in high school. So when we're talking about these different groups, right? So I started in the geeks, and I had a flirtatious relationship with the jocks.
Ooh.
And then I guess for the most part I was still a greaser by those 4 terms you've set out there.
Okay, well let's remove those terms and add our own terms.
Okay.
Because in my terms I was a straight bogan. And anyone from Australia or New Zealand knows exactly what that is. Garbage people. Yeah. But anyway.
It's like garbage, but also so lovely in some ways. Sometimes I'm just I love the bogan life. It's anyway. But so in high school, it's funny I say high school though, actually, now you mention it. Now you talk about New Zealand and Australia, because it's technically in those countries, it's college, which in America and...
That's so weird though.
Yeah, even in the UK, I don't think they call it college. Getting off topic. So in high school, just for the lack of a better word, high school, I was, I guess, a drama kid for the most of it. And I guess, is that geek / prep? Like, it's sort of somewhere between the two, depending on how deeply you...
Prep, in my mind, is like rich kids with shitty haircuts.
Right. So, no, I was never a rich kid. I was probably towards the other end of it, to be honest. But, like, so I guess I was a geek then. And then, so for most of my high school years, for about 4 or 5, because in New Zealand, we do 6 years of high school.
Oh, I don't know.
It's year 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5 years. 5 years of high school.
Much less than 7.
Yeah, 5 years. And for 4 of those, or 3 of those things, I was heavily overweight, had terrible acne, and was just a general geek. Like, I was the type of guy who would go to the library during lunch breaks and play chess. Mm-hmm. I just fucking got into it. And then in the last 2 years, for whatever reason, I think I was really into some girl or something like that. I think that was it. Anyway, so I lost... This is the biggest weight loss I've ever had in my life, but I went from 120 kilos to 72.
Fuck.
In, get ready for it, 5 months.
That's not good.
It's not healthy. So it was very good for me at the time, because immediately, funnily enough, people started talking to me all of a sudden. They're like, who the fuck are you? I literally had that question once, as I didn't recognize you, was what some people say. So I kind of had this thing where I went from the geek club, and then in my sixth year, so we had 6th and 7th years, 6th form and 7th form. In 6th form, I landed get ready for this, dual lead in the double cast of our school production.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
So, well, also I was highly full of myself, because I was like, I'm the best person that exists. If anyone knows Little Shop of Horrors, I played Seymour, the lead male, in one cast, and I played The Plant, which is Audrey 2. I don't know if you've ever seen Little...
No.
Sippy hasn't seen it. Sippy hasn't seen it. But, like, if anyone knows Little Shop of Horrors, I played Audrey 2 in the second cast. So there were literally parts, that entire acts, that I could kind of do by myself. So naturally, having received all this attention, this dual casting, and then in my 7th year, in my 7th form, I was head boy. So I fucking got this ego boost through the fucking roof. And that kind of made me into a prep kid from attitude, I would say.
I had a similar transformation throughout high school. I went from this dude, you all know this dude is skinny as, fucking just pathetic, in my Lamb of God black t-shirt with my camo 3/4 lengths and really long hair. And then I don't know when it happened, but at some point I was like, fuck this shit. I don't want to do this anymore. And I just cut off all my hair, and it was like, at the time, it was in the 2010, 2011, when everyone had those shitty, like, side fringes. So I, like, converted to that. And literally, like, 2 weeks after I did that, I got so much attention from girls that I had never had before. Because I was, like, so invested in my friends that I was like, what a woman. Gross.
Whammon.
Yeah, woman. Respect the woman. But... yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, I had, like, my first, like, serious girlfriend, and I was like, oh, shit. And then, it all kind of developed from there, and I became a real person. But, yeah, things drastically changed, all just from, like, reflection of image, I guess.
It's very true. So, going to the topic, like, these are our experiences, and this is sort of how, I guess both of us have kind of warped or shifted across what you want to call the social groups. But the point we're trying to make is that when you go into the real world, after the high school experiences and after experiencing all of this, and maybe we were slightly better outfitted in a way to realize that you could actually shift groups. You can actually change yourself, that kind of thing. There's a very real precedent in the real world, I'll call it, for how you need to do things. It's something that we're almost continuously interested in, because A, we don't think the normie way is the correct way, and B, we don't necessarily think the edgy way is the correct way either. There's too many variables. So if you want, comment below, comment section, chuck them down there, give us your opinion. What do you think? What do you think is a good way to live life? Like, what do you think what have you been expected to do, and how has that affected your life? Those kind of things. Tell us about it, because it's a discussion we'd like to keep going.
Yeah, because, like, coming up in a household, I think both of us did, where traditional values were promoted.
Yeah.
Or prominent, yeah. I had this really depressing conversation with my dad recently. He was like, when I die, and I was like, oh God, I don't want to have this conversation. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Straight into it? Or
Let's just get into it. He's like, when I die, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to talk about this. He's like, when I die, I'm going to give you some money. And I was like, okay, that's part of my life insurance, rada. I want you to buy a house. And I thought to myself, do I need that? Like, is that something that's important to me? That's putting the morbid side of that aside, like, do houses actually matter to people our age? Which is in our 20s, by the way.
20-something?
Yeah, 20-somethings, where you start to gain, like, a consciousness. You start to become a person. And people say, do you want a house? And you're like, I can't afford that.
I'm like, do I want a house?
Yeah.
So just a preface, actually. So we both come from a town in New Zealand where the average market price of a house is over $1 million. Like, it's blown out of proportion.
Yes.
But, so owning a house is not only an investment, it is basically a
death sentence.
Yeah.
So that doesn't have much of an appeal to me personally, but I can't help but feel that maybe we are wrong. Because how the fuck would we know? We've never had money. I mean, in our spare time, we make podcasts. Like, we're not the most intelligent people.
Very observational, maybe not very intelligent. So again, comments appreciated. Opinions appreciated. Chuck them in the comment section below.
Tell us how to live life, because we aren't doing it well. And we need help all the time.
Please help.
Please, sir. Somebody touching my mortgage. Woohoo!
Oh,
it's awful.
Best thing. All right.
So yeah, to the main topic. Basically, we don't want any of the stuff we've been told that we're meant to like.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly. So what the fuck do you do when you don't want anything that you've been told you're supposed to like?
We just like the creative stuff, We're looking for creative outlets, and that seems to be both of our predominant interests. And then people are like, how's your career going on? Well, it's not really a thing we're interested in.
Yeah,
so.
it's like a lot. Well, it's funny you say that, actually, because my dad's a careers advisor, and he's done it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then he's quit it. He's dropped it, and he's doing other things now. And he recently said to me when I was back there, he's like, I think that your career and your life.
So you said career.
Oh, no, not as in north and south, as in career job.
Okay.
But because like the in the past, it appears like, and he's worked this for most of his, a good 10 years of his life, is that the whole idea that your career is this thing that you do with your life. And his attitude more now after going through that grinder is that it's the same thing. And that interested me very greatly, because in the past I've perhaps not always agreed with him. Like, our relationship's quite different now, but like I would say that his attitude has been like, you get a job and you do the thing. But it was very interesting to hear him say, like, they're interchangeable words, I think, were his exact words, when you go with, what do I do with my life? And what do I do with my career? And again, this relates back to the whole concept of expectations and social norms and traditional values, because he is quite right, I think, personally. This is essentially your life. Like, what do you do with it? And for the most part of mine, it's been trying to figure out, like, what I genuinely like and how achievable other these goals are, and, all the rest of it. It's a very tricky thing, though, to look at parts of your life and go, like, is this right? Like,
am I alright?
Am I okay? Like, I'm kind of unhappy, or very unhappy, or very happy, or all those kind of things. It's tricky. So yeah, for the last time, flick us comments, see what you think. It's going to be a good thing.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting thing, because like for all the 20-something-year-olds out there, like, unhappiness is always going to kick in.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are brought up in, we all know this story. I don't need to delve into this too much, but, you're surrounded by social media, which is where people are going, look at how fucking great my life is. And their lives are shit.
The unicorn effect, I think it's called, or maybe the green garden effect. Look it up. It's an established effect that we always think other people's lives are better than our own.
Because people only promote the best parts of their life. And I know I do it. I look at my Instagram, I'm like, fuck, I'm an interesting person. And then I think about my week and I'm like, you have done nothing. You have made 7 peanut butter sandwiches today. You fucking garbage man.
I don't know, that sounds like a pretty good day to me.
It does sound like a great day to me.
So moving along, something that we noticed, having been out to, we go out to shows, we do the things.
We try.
Yeah, sorry, we definitely make attempts. We may not always get it right, but we make certain attempts. One thing that we will brush over is something a Sippy brought up to me. I didn't really notice it at first, but we were sitting, I think, after a show, or we just seen a great band. If you ever want to see a great Brisbane band, go see the Cutaways, by the way, a very good band.
Ooh, promotion.
And, yep, have a little promotion there. So we're sitting in the middle of fucking the Fortitude Valley in Brisbane. Lots of people, lots of girls, lots of guys, lots of everyone. And Sippy goes, how can girls walk in heels? And I was like, what do you mean? So he's like, no, they all look so uncomfortable. It's like, no, that's garbage. Look at all these fucking people walking in heels. And he's like, no, but look at them. Do any of them actually look comfortable? And I looked again. I was like, you know what? No woman looks that comfortable in heels.
This is a genuine tie to social norms that I find disturbing. It's because girls wear heels to promote calf muscles, right? That was the whole aim of the game.
But often you brought this up. It doesn't happen. It's just kind of jerky and uncomfortable, and you feel so sorry for them. Fuck.
Let me just say, it can be a very enticing visual experience. But most of the time, it's just these girls who are fucking drunk as, and they're walking around like they have fucking horseshoes on, and they look so uncomfortable and sad, and I can see the pain, and I'm like, honey, please just wear
put some flats on.
Put some canvas shoes on. No one cares. This isn't the most androgynous time period that we've had to date, where dudes are like, I don't give a shit if you look like a dude. That's fucking hot.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't need to do that if you don't want to. If you want to, by all means do. But also,
this is what I said. I was like, there need to be classes for this stuff. There needs to be classes for this stuff. There needs to be education. Because I swear some girls are doing damage to themselves.
Oh, it must be terrible for your joints.
Yeah. Because I've tried to walk in heels.
We've all tried.
When I was fucked. Don't think I've done it sober.
I've only done it sober.
Oh, really? But how did you find it sober? Because
I hated it.
You hated it as well. I was like, this is impossible. No one can do this. And millions of girls do it every weekend.
The amazing thing is, why give yourself a challenge when you're drunk?
Let's do another level. Yeah. I'm already fucked. Great. Now you must walk on fucking, toothpick things.
Yeah. You know how you feel like you're gonna fall over? Let's add 6 inches to that. The point of that is, if you're listening and you're wearing heels out to town, you're going out to the clubs and stuff, just think of your own comfort. More than your attractiveness. If you're a nice person, people will talk to you and they will adore you. If you're a cunt, no one's going to love you regardless of your calf muscles.
I tried on.
But that's the heels thing. It's been bothering me since we went out. I have this tendency to be more cynical and nihilistic than Yax. And this time he listened to me, and I was extremely happy.
This time. Most of the time I argued. We go, oh, no, come on, man. Don't you think it's like this?
Yeah. He's always trying to keep a positive spin, and I'm always trying to bring him down.
That's how it works. It's a good vibe. I can yaks on it.
I can yaks on that. So, another thing we wanted to talk about today was comparing our personal interests to social norms again.
Correlated.
Yeah, it's all related. So our own interests is predominantly music.
Like, what do we do? We do music.
We are musicians.
Writers. We're both writers, technically.
Yeah, we both write fucking geeky card games. Magic the Gathering! Magic the Gathering! Please play it with us. Please. Please. So these are the kind of things we're into.
And memes. Memes is something
we love memes.
We love
memes. We do enjoy the memes.
Yeah, so it's music and I guess shows, and that's kind of the same thing-ish.
Yes.
MTG, do a lot of the MTG magic. So that. And what else? Oh, I guess alcohol.
We drink a lot.
Yeah.
More than is healthy. So yeah, we like card games, fucking super nerdy card games that I adore. We love going to shows. We like writing and doing like creative outlets. We like talking in front of a microphone for over an hour.
That's a good point. We like attention.
We adore attention.
Yeah.
And that's what we like.
What's funny to me is that how many of those actually cross over into quote-unquote normie territory when you present them in the right ways.
I like attention. Okay, so you like being... Okay, let's apply this to music. The most attention-seeking person of a band, traditionally, is a lead guitarist and a singer.
Oh, the singer. Yeah, 100%.
Those two are on par for, attention wanking.
So I'm technically both.
Yes. Yax being a singer
and lead guitarist because only guitarist.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't call you a lead guitarist because there's, I think of like Slash, like Guns N' Roses, like that kind of.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so very different.
It's a different category.
Yeah.
I'm seeking attention. It's like, all right, what is that in normie terms?
I like how you were so kind with that. You're like, think about Slash or Guns N' Roses as if I have the capability to be a lead guitarist if I so wished, as like. Negative, Captain.
Well, the difference is like those people are like, this is my life.
Yeah, this is my thing. This is what I do.
The edgies going to the extreme. But normies, what do they want? They want financial stability.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, so if we combine the same things again, so we'll go back to what we like versus what normies might like in it. So music, for us, is a very self-expression thing. It's got to have the certain elements to it. It's product in some ways, because we're both musicians that sell music. We view it as like a career and a passion and all those things above. And then you translate that into the normie world. And as far as we can see, it becomes more of a either background noise or a tool. And it does one of two things. It's either to fill that dead air that you don't want to be there, or it's to get laid.
But the kind of normie music where they're like, yeah, I play acoustic guitar, but basically I'm just trying to fuck girls. And like that is not a
well, that's just me.
Good. No, I hope not.
I think you have a higher opinion of me than previously you thought. That is me. But the point was that like you can. It's just boils down to different goals, doesn't it? Really, like
what are you trying to achieve?
Yeah. It's like if it's a passion or an obsession or like a dedication to the music, or if music is just a thing for you to get laid, or just have a good time or relax, or it's just this thing you don't think about. I think that's the key thing. It's the key thing between a lot of normie subjects and a lot of edgy subjects, really, isn't it? Is that these things come up in both of these sections, but whether you think about it is the key thing.
It's like, how self-aware are you is basically the difference.
Yeah. Like, because the housing thing as well. Because if you're so, let's say, regular, we'll say regular, that you just say, okay, I'm going to get a house and a family and I'm going to be happy, that's the thing.
If you question it and you decide that's what you want, that's great.
But it still makes you more edgy.
It does, because
you've kind of questioned it.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I know I have friends and they're like, I just want the typical life.
Yeah.
And they say that, I'm like, yeah, but at least you know. Like, at least you know.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have solved it. Next topic.
None of this matters because I really need to take a piss.
Oh, I'm so in the same boat.
So we're going to take a quick recess, and you won't notice it because we have this amazing thing called audio editing.
All you hear is this.
And then we'll be back in just a moment. You will never notice. Let's go. We've returned to the podcast. Yax is trying to open a beer and he's not doing well. It's very entertaining.
I've done it.
So the last thing that we were going to talk about was just this weird social construct of people doing what they think they're meant to do just because, that's what people have told them. So basically, I had a really good example of this the other day. I was at this bar, and the first time I gone there was like no one there. I was like, it was fantastic. I love this. The second time I gone there, it was crammed full of people. Lack of term, we'll call them normies. And it was just these dudes. They've been to the gym. They're in good shape. They're all trying to fuck girls, basically. It was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen in my life. Because guys you can categorize into two different groups. There's the alphas, the bigger, taller, stronger men. And they're talking to the girls, and they're doing quite well. All the girls are like, oh, this is great. How lovely.
How lovely.
How lovely. And then
this is how all women sound too.
Yeah, that is
how lovely.
All women sound like this. And then there's their friends, which we'll call the betas. And they're a bit smaller. They have gone to the gym less. That's us. No, because we don't have alphas. We're just like zetas. We're nothing.
There's a term. I looked it up once. So there's alpha and beta, and then they do call this third type omega. This particular article I read was clarifying it as the difference between... So alpha and beta can exist in a very kind of dependent relationship. Omega is separate. It doesn't interact as much. And they can either be in charge of these other people or have zero reference to them, just be utterly irrelevant.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting.
It's like a different... It's almost like saying, a different industry or a different thing. It's like something that doesn't
it's
really...
normies and... What the fuck were we calling them?
Edgies.
Yeah.
Kind of, but, those...
Because I would consider any person who is an edgy, like, automatically not an alpha.
See, I would do the opposite in some ways. Like, it's not so much a question of like what you're into. It's just who you are inside those different techniques.
Yeah, but also, I don't know. I feel like within an alternative scene, generally everyone wants to be more passive because that is considered a more desirable trait.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I just still think the same guidelines operate within no matter where you go.
There's different morals as well because within like an alternative scene, within the non-social norms, like generally different morals are promoted. So passiveness is seen as a good thing, whereas in a normal sense, that is passiveness is weakness. Alphas generally are aggressive.
You're not wrong.
In nature.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
Betas are submissive. Omegas, we'll call them, the people who operate in a completely different sense.
I want to call them almost wild cards because they can either be amazing or rubbish.
Let's just call them like omegas.
Yeah.
Generally, they're not willing to submit. They're like, this is what I want. But they're also like, I don't give a shit.
That's the thing. I think that's the main difference is that if there is a third type, the omega type, it is the part that goes, I'm not going to butt heads with you like an alpha over the dispute because I literally do not care enough about this interaction to do anything about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And that's different from beta behavior where the beta would cave and take
submissive.
Submissive and take on the style or the whatever it is. And then go for it, whereas the omega would just be like, yeah, I don't care enough to have this, and then go and do their own thing anyway.
Back to the topic. Like
when people tell you things are great, or when whoever tells you things are great, you're part of that alpha mentality of and it can be a lot of different things that tell you things are great. Say you're a standard dude, like you said, he goes out and he's been told most of his life that all he needs to do to be happy is get a good job, have a girlfriend or a wife or whatever it is, listen to XYZ music, be this quote unquote person. And when you're told enough that it is correct or great or the best thing or the only thing or the social norm, that is how you will react when people try to present you with different alternatives.
And the worst part is when you don't like that, you feel incredibly uncomfortable, but you don't understand why.
Bingo. Yeah.
I don't know if this is a lack of intelligence or a lack of exposure, because some people aren't brought up in a way that exposes them to creative people. For example, growing up when I was like 18, all my friends went to clubs, and I just wondered why I hated it so much.
Yeah, same
and I was
here.
like, everyone else seems to love this, and I fucking loathe this. This is the worst thing I've ever done. And then it was like, because this isn't for you. Go to some live music shows where everyone is very polite and no one pushes on other people. No one's wearing fucking button-up shirts and have tribal tattoos. You know, fuck those people.
Those mainstay of the normie
like,
society.
You don't actually have to do that. And I hope that someone hears this and they go, fuck, that is me. Try going to some live music by yourself, by the way, because that's the most alpha shit you can do. And just see how it goes. Could be awful. Could be fucking shit. But at least it's not another night of clubbing.
And like what we were saying earlier, with the shifting of sections or demographics or, cliques, you have the ability to be a beta in one section and an alpha in another. You never know. It's all about developing yourself, and I think this is a big theme across all of it, is like, regardless of where you are, who you identify as, all the different personality types, is there's a very big opportunity in all of these things to develop yourself as a human being. And if you are not doing that, that's a fault. People should strive to be better. And I think, sort of to sum all of this up, if there's any ill will or rage that we as more edgy, quote unquote, people feel against, quote unquote, normie people, it is that there is no determination, or rather an even interest in accepting things that they may not have done before. There's a kind of just reluctance to accept anything that upsets the status quo. I think it's the most frustrating thing for me.
100%.
It's just like, good God. And like we said in the last episode, do some travel. Open your mind. Broaden your horizons. Because that's really what it's all about. Becoming a better person.
But like, I just want people to be open-minded is the main thing. I want them to tell me I'm wrong, but I want them to admit that they are wrong as well. Because none of us know what we're doing. No. Come on. So anyway, should we end it there? Should we end it there?
This has been the Sippy and Yak Show. And we have talked about important issues. And I do hope you have found something in the show that's interested you. It's interested us to talk about this stuff.
Outro!
What the fuck's the outro? I've forgotten what the outro is.
It's your voice going, this has been Sippy and Yaks. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to do it if you've got your fucking...
No. By all means.
Okay.
So by all means.
By all means. Thanks very much for listening. Chuck us a comment in the section below. Like and subscribe. Check us out in the future. This has been Sippy and Yaks. Have a great...
That's all we've got. Yep!